So here I go through the Eisenhower Tunnel. Colorado elk rifle season starts tomorrow, and I am excited. This morning, YouTube demonetized all of my hunting videos where I had harvested an animal because they said they were not friendly to advertisers. Getting ready to leave the Eisenhower Tunnel, and now we're going to be on the other side of the Continental Divide, the western slope of Colorado. That is a pretty sight. At first, I was really upset with YouTube. But then the more and more I started thinking about it, the Lord really worked on my heart. There's a lot of things I can complain about. My goodness, I have plantar fasciitis on my right foot, and it's been hurting really bad the last couple of weeks leading up to hunting, when I'm gonna have to walk anywhere from 6 to 10 miles a day. I've had sponsors in the last year that have left me high and dry. I've driven tens of thousands of dollars of business in their direction, and they didn't care to reciprocate or to help me out with expenses, compensation, with money. My wife lost her job in February. We lost 85% of her income. We had many thousands of dollars worth of car repairs earlier this year, and I can go on and on and on and on. But you know what? I don't want to. God has really been impressing upon me how good He is. And that's what I want to get across to everybody today. The world is going to throw us all kinds of left hooks and jabs. The world is going to knock us down and kick our teeth out. This life on earth can be very difficult. But the bottom line is, God is so good. He's never left me high and dry. He's always been there to pick me up out of the pit. Any situation I've been in my life, I'm extremely thankful to be going hunting this weekend with Steve, with my friend Steve. Hey everybody, so here's Steve. You might remember him from some video this winter where we were cooking Japanese stir fry. So we're hiking up the mountain. How long have we been hiking, Steve?
Half hour, 40 minutes.
Half hour to 40 minutes. We're pretty close. I think we're about 10, 15 minutes maximum from our camping spot. So, we're taking a breather. It doesn't get easier, I tell you that. It doesn't matter how much you exercise. It's still very, very difficult every year. We both have been doing lots of prep, working out, getting ready to come up here. So, stay tuned. Steve got an incredible new tent this year, a teepee style tent. Tell me about it. What is it?
It's a Seek Outside. It's a Cimarron. A little black bag there is a stove. So it's nice and toasted.
So I'll be freezing tonight using I'll just have a 2/3 season tent. But Steve with a wood stove. Come on, what's up with that? I want to give a big shout out to the Catadine group. This will be the 12th year that I've filtered water out of this same drainage using Catadine water filters. I've used the Hiker microfilter for the last 11 years. I love it. I actually needed a new one, and the Catadine group contacted me out of the blue directly. They really blessed me. They asked me if I wanted to get some new filters. They hooked me up with the Hiker Pro, and I have a few of the brand new Bee-Free filters. And since Optimus and Alpine Air are also part of the Catadine group, they also hooked me up with a brand new camp stove, some accessories, and even some food samples. My hydration bladder and Nalgene are full. I got my tent set up. Steve got his new teepee set up. These Alpine Air Just Peachy snacks, so good. They literally are slices of peach. They are delicious. It's 8 a.m. the first morning. I walked for a couple of hours, taking a lot of pauses, and now I'm sitting down for the first time. I've walked by a few rubs from this year, found a few elk skeletons. I'm at an abandoned wall tent campsite. They used to have some lodgepole frames up here and some old cooking equipment. Looks like somebody took it down over the last 2 years. But they left their antler collection. And a nice skull on the tree. I just found a nice spring seepage. When Catadine sent me that care package a few weeks ago, they included a few of their brand new bee-free filters. I brought the 1 liter version with me. Spam singles light, and it's always snack time. Good morning. It's 7:20 a.m., the second day of the hunt. I did a little bit of filming yesterday, but not a ton. About halfway through the day yesterday, the temperature plummeted with wind chills down around the teens, down to 0. Got really cold yesterday afternoon. I had a lot of issues with boots. Oh, bad. I was wearing a pair of leather boots from Wood and Stream, and I was getting some nasty blisters, and it was terrible. I did around 10 miles of walking, mostly up and down steep cliffs here. Made it back to camp just before dark, and I was shaking uncontrollably. I could not stay warm. It was terrible. So I packed everything. I went down the mountain to my car. I went into town, went to the bathroom at Wendy's. I had a Wendy's Son of Baconator meal, and it was incredible. That Wendy's food tastes so good. I went to Walmart. I got some blister cushions for my feet, talcum powder. I pretty much did a field shower in the Walmart parking lot, and I put on new boots, a different style of boots that Wood and Stream had sent me a couple of years ago. I hiked back up the mountain in the dark. I got up to my tent about 5 minutes to 10. I pulled the sleeping bag up over my head, went to bed, and I felt great this morning. I found Steve. So how's it going, Steve?
Going great.
Any words yet? Any comments?
A lot of hiking.
It's day number 3 of the hunt, and I haven't got anything yet. I saw 2 bulls the first day, right around the middle of the day. I didn't have the camera out. They were too far off, and they were running, and I couldn't get a shot. And that's it. It has been quiet on the mountain. Talked to a guy yesterday that got a cow, and that's about it. Steve's hunting. We split up this morning. I've been up for, it's about 8 o'clock right now, so we get up at 5. I've been walking since 5:30 a.m. I just took off my Under Armour base layers. If you're gonna hunt in the Rocky Mountains, you're gonna have to be prepared to be very cold and very warm. So 2 nights ago, it was so cold, our water was freezing within minutes of filtering it. And now I'd actually be comfortable in a pair of shorts. I lift my eyes up to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth and hills. Thank you so much to my friend Ben for sending me that encouraging psalm, Psalm 121. Middle of the day, obviously not good to hunt when it's this hot. After our break, we've been hiking for how long now?
40 minutes?
40 minutes, 45 minutes. We're soaked. We're just starting to climb back up the mountain. And first antler shed of the trip. So we don't have an exact plan yet, but our loose plan is tonight at one point we're going to get off this mountain and perhaps get a hotel because we haven't showered in like 3.5 days or whatever, and get some Wendy's and then get up super early tomorrow morning to hunt again. Steve and I probably hiked close to 10 miles today, so this is the view that I have right now just before dark. Good morning. As you can see, our campsite has changed. How has it changed?
It changed really good. It was really comfortable last night.
Yeah. We're up here hunting in Summit County, and I've hunted elk up here for 12 years or so. I have a good friend, Aaron, that lives up here that I haven't talked to in a couple years, but he was a real good friend of mine in the past, and we've done a lot of things together hunting-wise. He lives around here. He does a lot of hunting, especially a lot of archery. And Aaron works as a troubleshooter. He's the lead troubleshooter for the local power company. He said he was out on an evening call after he talked to me, and they were working in a certain area, another mountain. We're on I-70 right now, another mountain that's several miles away, and he actually saw a lot of elk coming down out of the mountains to feed in a lot of the mountain neighborhoods. So he gave me a couple of ideas. You never know, elk can cover a lot of miles, but he at least gave me some ideas maybe to give us a fresh start today. We've hunted hard for 3.5 days. We changed our plan this morning, so we went over to that mountain and went into the national forest this morning, burned tons of calories. We got out of there by 10 a.m. I found an elk skull, he found a bone, and that was about it. But this has been such a grueling hunt. I mean, it has been the least amount of elk I have ever seen elk hunting. And I'm enjoying some of these chocolate covered cinnamon bears. Let's give it a try. Now if we can just find an elk. Walmart. I'll be heading out to Virginia in a week and a half, I think. Stay tuned for details on that. I'll be cooking and demoing Blackstone griddles at a Roanoke, Virginia Walmart, and then also one in Martinsville the next day in conjunction, or in parallel, I guess, with the big race that's going to be in town there, the NASCAR First Data 500 in Martinsville. So stay tuned for that. As you can see, I'm not hunting anymore. But we're calling it quits one day early. Steve said we were just armed hiking. Because yes, to go hiking, we like to put on 75 pounds of backpack and a rifle. It was definitely the worst hunting I've ever seen during that season, and I've hunted that mountain for 12 years. Hands down the worst. Just kicked out a few bulls on the north-facing, dark timbered slopes at 10,000 feet. And if you know anything about the mountains, pretty much impossible to hunt on those north-facing slopes. We're talking cliff sides, very dangerous. The elk, the bulls will just get in there and tuck in, and you can't get them. I mean, there's no way. You hike around there, you kick one out, but you can't get a shot, and of course they're long gone. But anyways, we're done, and I was struggling with this last night. It was a terrible night when we got back to our hotel. Do I want to quit? Because I don't want to be a quitter. I was a quitter earlier in my life, and I quit everything. And I was good at a lot of things, but I didn't follow through, and so I quit a lot. And that still drives me nuts, so it, to this day, helps me to persevere more and not be a quitter. But the bottom line is, if we weren't seeing elk, just didn't think that another day of armed hiking would have been beneficial for anybody. Got a verse that came in my inbox today. But blessed are those who trust in the Lord and have made the Lord their hope and their confidence. And that's what it came down to for me. I like elk hunting, you know it. That's how I started my channel. I love cooking with elk. I love saying that I'm an elk hunter. You saw the footage. It's incredible up there. It's such a neat experience. But my hope, my trust is not in elk hunting. You know, it's not in my beloved Pittsburgh Steelers who disrespected the flag this year, you know, and those that have died for it. It's not. My hope is in Jesus Christ, who died for my sins. And that's the truth. That's the only thing I can bank on.